Attention listeners! On October 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific, join WizBiz with Alex and Eric for a thrilling Halloween live stream on Twitch. We will be discussing Fiona and Cake and divining using a Ouija board and pendulum. It will be spooky fun! Don't miss out on the Halloween live stream extravaganza. Subscribe to our Twitch channel to stay updated and be part of the spine-tingling action. Visit twitch.tv/WizBizPodcast and hit that subscribe button. Be prepared for a Halloween experience like no other. We will see you there.
Time to get real! I want to see some crazy whiz-biz!
What's the magic made out of, ding dong?
I want to see some of that whiz-biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical! Bacon pancake!
Get ready for some crazy WizBiz with Alex and Eric because it's WizBiz podcast time!
It is the titular
Oh my God.
whiz-biz podcast.
I know.
time.
I'm so excited about
We got to
this.
the title.
Yeah, finally.
So I was trying to figure out what episodes we needed to watch this week, and I was like, season 3, episode 8. I'm like, that sounds really familiar to me.
It's the Wizard Battle
And I'm
episode.
like,
Oh, man.
oh, that's why. Because
Yeah.
I think I was like, you need to get clips from this episode
Yeah.
when we were discussing how to do the theme song. I was like, season 3, episode 8. I swear we're gonna find some shit in there.
So in this episode of our podcast, we're going to be discussing Adventure Time Season 3, Episode 7, Still, and then Season 3, Episode 8, Wizard
Nash
Battle.
and Young. Oh, sorry, Wizard
Yes.
Battle. Yeah.
And I feel like these are both really, really good episodes. I enjoyed watching both
Yeah,
of
they're
them. But it did really make me think that, especially this first episode Still, I feel like maybe our friendship isn't as good as it should be. So I did slip a paralytic into your hard seltzer over there.
Oh,
And pretty soon you should be frozen.
cool.
As
long as I can talk.
Unless you can tell me what my favorite color is. Then I will just give you the antidote.
The color of shit.
Fuck.
And I made a rainbow gesture with my hands.
What color is that? Puce?
Yeah.
Mauve?
Eric, how have you been? Let's get some reports. I hear tell
Mhm.
you've returned to your camping roots and gone camping. Do you have any fun things that happened there? I
Uh,
probably should ask you this before we recorded because this could be like, no, we were just in a tent for a while.
I went camping with my family way out outside of Paisley, Oregon, and
Ooh, is that your favorite color?
Paisley's not a color; it's a pattern.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it had something to do with color.
Yeah, it was fun. There were two exciting things. One of them was it was a beautiful clear night. All the nights we were there, and I saw more bats and nighthawks
Oh, nice.
hunting at night than I've ever seen before. Like I was shocked by the number of bats. There must have been dozens. The mosquitoes were not horrible, but they were bad enough, and the bats.
Wait, stupid
gobbled-
question. The nighthawks are hunting the bats, or do they hunt
The
like?
nighthawks also hunt bugs.
But they do hunt bats too.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
They
I don't know anything about
nighthawks.
other than owls.
They're kind of like, yeah, they're bug eaters.
Okay.
They I don't know that one of them could catch a bat, but they're very agile and they're very
Yeah.
incredible birds. They're really fun to watch. So yeah, that was kind of cool. In Paisley, Oregon, is what may be the oldest bar in Oregon.
Really?
Yeah, apparently there's a contender in Pendleton that claims that it's the oldest bar in Oregon.
Oh,
but
wow.
we went to that. It's like the Pioneer Saloon or something.
It's
in
been
Paisley.
around for 35 years.
Oh god, it's been around since like the 1880s.
Yeah, I know.
or
It's just
something
it's
like that.
fun. It's like that English thing where like in England everything is
Yeah.
like ultra old, and you come to New York, you're like, this is our oldest building. It's 400 years old. It's like, yeah, I got a Roman settlement down the block. But then from like the East Coast, the East Coast to the West Coast, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this was built, Pilgrim times. Like, yes, this is our oldest monument. It was built like literally
Yesterday.
my great grandpa who was around.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
Wait, did you drink there? Sorry, I got distracted by the oldest part.
Yeah, I really if I'd had a chance, I would have loved to just sidled up to that bar and had some whiskey and stuff. But we were just in town for like lunch, so
Okay.
I had a beer and we had pizza, and the pizza was really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a really nice, and the campsite was gorgeous and really nice. I really recommend people check that out, especially since I don't know that Paisley is kind of a dying town. It's a very very tiny place, maybe like 200 people in it.
Yeah, everybody moved over to Fleur de Lis. Pattern jokes.
Yeah. They all moved to Plaid, Oregon.
Yeah. Plaid is a much better joke. Damn it. Well done.
I know. Hey, thanks. But the saloon, the Pioneer Saloon, is for sale for the low price of $500,000. But you're looking at it and you're like, how? There's no hotel in Paisley. There's like a dinky little school. There's hardly anything there. How's anybody gonna make money off of a $500,000 investment in Paisley?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should go there and start like one of those like I forget the name of it, one of those mushroom churches like Santa. What's that?
We should start a mushroom church.
What's that mushroom church? Santa something? It's like a Christian mushroom church.
A Christian mushroom? I don't know.
Yeah, there
about
was
this
one in Portland for a minute. It's down in Eugene, but since it's a church, you're allowed to use it as a sacrament.
Oh,
Santa Daime.
Santa Daime.
Yeah, I think it's or something very close to that.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fun.
I want to tell the audience that I went back to the Hillsborough Pinball Museum, next level, which is incredible, and everybody should go there. But I was playing so many stupid games, and I realized that there's this weird, like, I understood where QAnon came from, basically. So, like,
you had an epiphany in a pinball museum.
yes, because like one game is called like Lizard People, and it's like a lizard person like looming over the pinball board. And then there was like what was the other one? There was like reptiles from space or space invaders, and there's like two Martian things. There was a lot of the one was like Bloodsucker or something, and like there was just all this like I was like, those people that grew up in the 70s, this is what imprinted on them, and that's why they're the generation that invented this horse shit. It was just kind of fun, and also it's just that place is great.
Yeah, I guess it's I feel like the early 80s were just obsessed with lizard people and lizard aliens. Like, you remember V?
I do. I watched I never saw the original. I watched the remake with Morena Baccarin.
You gotta go watch the original.
Yeah, but the remake has Morena Baccarin as the lead V. And
the original, I can't remember who plays Diana in the original, but she's gorgeous, and you'll love her.
Yeah,
she's got huge 80s hair. She's got those cool V outfits with like the black triangle.
Oh, that's right. They look like they're in like a Robert Palmer video. Yeah,
they're amazing. They look so cool. They've got cool V sunglasses, and
that's true.
And I think the guy that plays Freddy Krueger is in it.
Robert Englund? He is. Robert Englund is in the original. Yeah, you're right.
He plays one of the visitors.
Yeah.
Who switches sides and tries to help out. And then I can't remember, like, Michael Ironsides is in it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And I want to say, I can't remember who the main character on the good guy's side is in V, but I want to say it's like the guy who was in Airwolf. I don't think it was.
No. John and I, from John Alex Hate Stuff, went to see Scanners at the Hollywood Theater.
Sweet.
And Michael Ironsides was there, and he gave a talk afterwards.
You got to see Michael Ironsides in person?
I got to tell you, like, one of the most charming people he is a fucking delight. I was just like, I could have listened to that man. Like, I don't remember how long he talked, but I could have listened to him for hours. Like, he was just telling stories, and he's like a really, like, he just showed up wearing denim. He's from Canada, and he's just like, he's exactly the kind of guy that would wear denim and is from Canada. Like, he's just got like this, he's just so fucking laid back, and just he's so got cool. That don't give a shit energy of like guys that have been in the business for so long. Really fun.
That sounds awesome.
You ever have a chance to see Michael Ironside give a talk? I do it. It's really
I will. I don't know when I'll ever get that chance. But,
probably never. But
probably never. But
I certainly didn't think I was going to have that chance. But John was like, "Hey, they're playing Scanners," and I'm like sitting in the audience, and John's like, "I think he mentioned while we're there that Michael Ironside's going to be there." I'm like, "The fuck, really? I just went because I wanted to see Scanners."
Yeah.
In the theater. Wait, so maybe we should let's talk about.
Wait, hold on. So, what's your favorite color? I'm going to guess black because it's the only color you ever wear.
It's true. My favorite color is mauve.
Do you even know what color that is?
Taupe. No, I just like the way they're spelled. No, my favorite color is like a like that kind of snail purple. Like that
Snurple?
Yeah, like that the sea people did, and like
Yeah, God, what were the name of those? What was the name of those purple. Those snails have such a cool name.
I don't. It's funny. I watched the
But
whole.
It's not Mucinex. That's a
No, it's
cough
something close to
medicine, but
that.
It's very close to.
I watched the whole documentary about this guy that basically reinvented how to make that that Prussian purple or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
Not
apparently
Prussian,
it
but, yeah.
smells horrible.
Yes, they mentioned that in the
Yeah.
thing because apparently the snails are like super gross and you have to
Oh,
like
man.
dry them and stuff.
I read this. Okay, we have to talk about Adventure Time.
Yeah,
I was just about to start a new.
Okay,
topic
yeah.
of discussion,
That'll
but
be our first segment is gonna be Eric talks about that thing.
We already just had our first segment. It was we just bullshitted for 20 minutes.
Well, I mean that's how we start every episode. Okay. So,
Okay.
All right. So the first episode we did was Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, except just Stephen Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just still.
Just Still.
Yeah.
I don't remember this episode. Like, I mean, I remember it now because I watched it earlier today. But like, I
Oh,
have.
had you forgotten? Oh man.
I don't. I'm sure I've seen it because I'm sure I've seen every episode. But man, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen this episode before today. It
wow.
did not ring a bell at all. Like
Really?
there was. I sort of remember, unless it's in another episode, that Gunter likes knocking over bottles.
I think he likes breaking stuff in a lot of episodes.
Yeah, that was sort of familiar to me, but beside that, like this was all new to me. And by the way, great episode, really liked it.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfamiliar to me, which was weird because I was not expecting from the start of the show to the end that there was going to be an episode that I'm like, first time. Oh.
Yeah, one of the things that I really love about this episode, and also I think this episode really, really makes me like the Ice King even more as a character. Like he's a psychopath. He has no sense of what's right and wrong, no sense of he doesn't understand anything about friendship, and he is just a complete, like, he just doesn't have a sense of morality. But he's amazing in this episode, and he's so disgusting. And he's just, like, all of his ideas about how everything works are so wrong, and he just doesn't understand why anybody would think that.
So my only kind of I agree with most of your point.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree with all your point. I guess I'm adding to it here. Is I think this is actually more of a foundational episode for the Ice King than like it is immediately on the surface, because I think this is really a showing how lonely and desperate for connection he is.
Mm-hmm.
Previous to this, it's I just want to kidnap princesses because that's a funny thing for a villain to do.
Yeah, it really felt like in the first season in particular, he was just set up as, the foil. Like, he's the villain. He catches princesses, and Finn and Jake have to save him. But they stuck with that bit to a point where they had to figure out, like, why does this happen? How does this character work?
And I think this really is like one of those foundational texts of, because later you understand that, he does have this heart within him, and he was like a good man before he got, destroyed mentally.
He was a heroic man.
Yeah. So it's this episode was like he is gross, but there's like this there's like a pathos to it or something, like where it's just like, oh, he just wants friends, like he's so lonely. And I don't know if I guess maybe he's psychopathic but not sociopathic or something. Like, I'm not sure. There's because
is there a difference?
Well, yeah, I think there is, but I don't know the difference.
Okay.
What I'm trying, as I said that, I'm like, shit, I don't think that's what I mean. But he doesn't understand the subtleties of interaction, but he does understand that he wants friends.
He understands that he wants friends, and he is convinced that Finn and Jake are the ones that should be his friends.
And it's not, and although obviously this is a not good thing to do to people, anybody at home, do not give people drugs and make them paralyzed. Don't do that. However,
I'm
in
scared
his head,
because I can't move my head.
as an immortal being that can kill with a thought, essentially, this is not that bad.
Yeah,
like given the character we're dealing with, it's kind of like judging gods by the kind of mores of humanity. It's like you can't. It's an entirely different thing. And the fact that he's only paralyzing them, I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but given where it's coming from, it's not too bad.
It's interesting. I was just thinking, this is the second episode of this season that has dealt with Ice King's desperation for friendship, right? Like the Scorcher episode also had kind of the same thing where Ice King was so desperate for friendship that he did stupid shit.
Yeah, this one I just think it feels sadder. That one was a little more fun.
Yeah.
I mean, sad in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, wait. So I want to talk about this this still potion.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not saying anybody out there at home that has access to this, I'm not saying use it, but like, boy, would this be really great if you were like a sociopath that likes torturing people. Like, especially if you can figure out a way to paralyze their vocal cords so they're like it's basically you've given them a night terror that they're completely frozen. They can't scream, and you can just sit there cutting into them a little bit. You know?
Alex, I don't think you should be allowed out anymore.
Yeah, it's too hot anyway. So anyway, back to cutting into them. Look, I'm not saying this is the way I think. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if the only way you know how to have an orgasm is strapping someone to a table and cutting into them slowly, this potion would be very useful.
Okay, that's going to be an audiogram.
Yeah. It's fine. I've got 13 years of using dumb shit on the internet.
So another thing I really liked about this episode was the heavy emphasis on Gunter, like having Gunter around so much.
Yes.
But where the hell was BMO? I mean, they were hanging out in the treehouse, and BMO was nowhere. I feel cheated.
I feel that BMO has a lot of adventures that we don't get to see. So headcanon, just making it up, he's in the walls, dressed as a knight, tilting against a mouse. Is what's happening.
Okay, that seems
BMO
like
right
that
now.
sounds like a BMO.
Like
adventure.
BMO's just off doing something, or like hanging out with a duck, having like a. He's talking about Heidegger to a goose. That's what BMO's doing right now. Yeah, that's, and not a spruce goose or whatever. Like no, like just a regular ass goose.
Yeah, just a honker.
Yeah, just outside. Oh no, that's a really good point, goose. Honk. Yeah.
The slideshow when Ice King took their frozen bodies and started showing them the slideshow.
Oh, if I may read the quote, unless you have it.
Oh, please.
I take artful black and white photographs of my penguin's body parts.
Yeah, I'm just
Which-
like, no!
So when I was in college, I took a summer course at the Fashion Institute of Technology in Manhattan.
The what?
The FIT. It's a really well respected fashion institute, but they have a photography program.
The Fashion Institute of Technology?
Yeah. It's like well regarded.
Is it? Okay.
But so we went and we did black and white photography class, and as we're young and pretentious and shooting black and white, of course, the idea of naked photography came up. And no, this none of me, but the amount of people that were just creepos that just wanted to take picture of tits was fucking overwhelming. Because I was literally, I mean, don't get me wrong, an audience at home, if you're like an attractive person with boobs that wants to send Eric and I pictures of them, we're gladly accepting. But I didn't go to that school for that. I went because I wanted to learn how to do photography.
Yeah, you went to Fit, not Tit.
Exactly. Tit was down the street.
Yeah.
That was back in Times Square, back when it was a little seedy. But the artful black and white photographs of my penguin's body parts just had this flashback of, I'm pretty sure I heard a guy say something very close to that when talking about how he wants to take pictures of some girl in class's tits.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, I still don't believe that this is a true story. The Fashion Institute of Technology sounds ridiculous to me.
FIT
The Fashion
Manhattan.
Institute of Technology.
I think it might not be. Fashion Institute of Technology. FITNYC.edu. It was founded in 1944. It's on West 27th Street. It was, kind of downtown Manhattan. Yeah.
Is that in Hell's Kitchen?
No, I think Hell's Kitchen is more north. Oh, so FIT is 6 blocks away from the Empire State Building.
Oh,
it's right by B&H Photo, which anybody at home, you should look into that. That's a weird thing. I do love, back on the wizard business side of things, Finn starts astral traveling.
I know. I'm just like, what the hell? Yeah, I
it.
loved it so much. Like the butterflies.
Yeah, he astral travels, and the fact that he links with butterflies. I was really expecting a tandem, etc. war elephant.
Yeah, where the hell is the war elephant?
I think he's down in the treasure room. You would think that he'd pick up on this.
Yeah. It seems like they should just be able to summon him anytime they want to.
Well, that's in my not remembering this episode. I was like, oh, here's how it ends: is that war elephant busts through the wall and breaks the unfreeze potion, which isn't the end. But that was my like, oh, him going to the astral realm to summon something. This is Chekhov's tandem psychic war elephant. Alas not.
Do you like omelets?
I do.
How much foot do you usually put in yours?
If we're saying foot in like grated Parmesan, the answer is still 0.
Really?
Yeah.
No Parmesan in your omelets.
Yeah, no Parmesan in
Okay.
omelets. Yeah.
What about like real foot? Actual foot.
Sasquatch, yes. Human, no.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And definitely no Ice King feet. His feet
Yes.
are really gross.
I'm on record as saying I think feet are gross.
Feet are gross.
Thank you.
This episode emphasizes that feet are gross because
Yes.
nobody wants, even Jake, who is a dog, does not want any foot in his omelet.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting odors in that foot.
Mhm.
You know, if you're a dog. But even Jake doesn't find it.
Yeah, he was really excited about the omelet until the foot thing came up.
Yeah. I had an omelet this morning. It was delicious.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I had a breakfast burrito. There's so much good. There's so many cool things in this episode. You know, the astral travel thing, the astral monster, the astral creature, whatever.
Gunter being a
astral beast.
creature of chaos, which I
Yeah.
quite like.
Gunter being a creature of chaos, which is definitely foreshadowing for what happens to him later.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. 'cause
And
Opasaur-
then his victory dance at the end.
Yeah.
It was such, like, the ending of this episode is just so gorgeous. And so I just love how this episode ends in such a classic cartoony manner where they are still
Yes.
frozen. And then Gunter does this cute little penguin victory dance.
Yeah, he knocks the unfreeze potion out the
Ah,
window and he
yeah.
does a little victory dance.
It's great.
I'm not immune to cuteness, and I gotta tell you, pretty fucking cute.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, even though we know Gunter is an interdimensional evil deity trapped in the body of a penguin.
I mean, technically true, but I mean, if you think of this as, you know, I said that this show is a kind of Hindu-based mythology, and like the idea of rebirth and reincarnation.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's living a new life and doesn't remember his last one.
True.
And in this one, he's an adorable little penguin. Do we really
Who loves to break
need...
bottles?
Yeah, does he really need to be Gazorpazorp, the foundational text of evil?
Isn't it
he can just
Orgmalorg?
Is it? Something
Yeah,
like that.
I think it's
yeah.
Orgmalorg.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah.
Wah.
Yes, that's what I said. Yeah, no, Gunter is super cute. Oh, I did also like Gunter when Jake is trying to talk to him.
Mhm.
He's like, "Get the key, Gunter," and Gunter just kind of fucks with him. He's like reaching out for the key. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah," and then
And then he
just kinda
starts
plays-
like
yeah, it's
playing
fun
with
times, yeah.
Jake's ears and stuff. Yeah.
Good. This is a good Gunter episode.
Yeah, it was a good Gunter episode and a good Ice King episode, and I think I just love that Ice King continues to develop as a character. There's so much ahead. There's so much ahead for Ice King, and I'm excited to watch it and discuss it as we get on with stuff.
Yes. Let's do a segment.
Okay, hold on. I would like to talk about.
Oh, you have more.
I have a segment.
Oh, please.
It's called "What Nerdy Thing Has Eric Been Doing Recently?"
Oh, yes.
Would you like to guess?
I would. I'm gonna say you broke out your sewing machine after a few years and got back into sewing.
Okay, all right. I guess maybe we should be
Technically
more specific.
cheating because you told me that earlier.
Yeah, it's true, and it was a successful experiment, by the way. I repaired a jacket. That I don't think is nerdy. I don't think sewing is nerdy. I think that it's extremely practical.
Yeah,
And I kind of like to.
So are protractors, nerd.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. You know what? I did not use a protractor with this sewing project, but I'm not going to say that I won't use a protractor when I'm sewing in the future.
Perfect. All right. So what was your nerdy thing?
I have been learning a new programming language, well, new to me, called Clojure,
Oh.
and it's close sibling ClojureScript. So these are languages that are hosted languages, which means that they don't necessarily like run and compile to themselves. They, like Clojure, for instance, runs on top of the Java virtual machine,
Okay.
and ClojureScript compiles to JavaScript, so it runs on top of a JavaScript engine, like in a browser or something like that. But they are a dialect of Lisp, and Lisp is one of my favorite programming language families, so I've been kind of playing around with those, and one of the things that I've been doing is using ClojureScript to write a online tool that will calculate spirit sigils using the method in Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa's fourth book of occult philosophy.
That's awesome. I like where you're going with this.
It's a super big pile of nerdery because I had to get into the fourth book of occult philosophy and decipher the instructions for this.
This is like nerdery mixed with dorkery.
Oh god,
Like, this is like a
it
whole.
is.
Yeah, you've
It
got the
is.
whole like cornucopia.
Oh
of-
man,
of-
yeah,
of-
yeah.
of
I
getting
had to
beaten up in high
use.
school.
I had to dive into this grimoire, decipher. Well, I first used Robert Turner's English translation to decipher the algorithm that Agrippa uses to calculate these spirit names. And then I was kind of like, I'm not going to trust this guy's English translation. I'm going to go back to the Latin. So I went back to the Latin and translated the paragraph talking about all the math into my own version, which ended up matching Robert Turner. So I was like, all right, cool. We both got the same algorithm here. And then I turned that into a function and sort of typed that all out. And then I made software that would run the function for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it very much.
Yeah, it should be up on the Arnemancy website probably like next weekend. By next weekend. I mean,
throw it up on WizBiz too. Why not? No, just
I
kidding.
don't know if I
No,
can.
it has absolutely nothing to do with our show. I just like be funny. Like hey, welcome to our webpage about this a commentary on a cartoon. Here, get your Solar Deacons read by or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, it's it uses a JavaScript front end, and then I'm turning it into a WordPress plugin. So, and WizBiz, our website is so simple it doesn't even use WordPress. So.
Fuck WordPress.
Yeah, so it'll be on Arnemancy. I'm sure I'll post on Mastodon and Blue Sky about it when it happens.
As well, you should. We are WizBiz Podcast on Blue Sky. We've had one person talk to us so far. I was very excited to see.
Well, I think we had more. Well, we got a lot of followers.
Yeah, we got a bunch of followers, and one person responded to your question about what cartoons are good.
Oh, good.
Yes,
good.
I responded to them.
I need to adjust. So I've really taken to Mastodon, and I'm really enjoying it. I think I mentioned this every episode, but I did create our WizBiz podcast account on Blue Sky, but I haven't worked it into my sort of like daily social media check.
Their app is pretty lightweight. You your phone would probably handle it pretty well. Like,
okay, maybe I should get that.
Yeah, it's super low tech. Like there's nothing there. So
yeah, even the Blue Sky app itself, the online thing, it's so It is like Twitter from 15 years ago. Let's are we ready for some shiny rocks, Alex?
Yeah, let's do some shiny rocks. Well, I mean, do you want to do this one, or do you want me to tell them about Amphibrock?
I would like you to tell everybody about this new shiny rock that
busting out my ancient I've forgotten 98% of it knowledge of. I went to school for poetry. Amphibrock is if you've heard of iambic meter, this is a different kind of meter. So iambic is stressed unstressed, and Amphibrock is iambic is a foot is chew, so stressed unstressed, that's the foot. The foot in this is unstressed stressed, like kind of a sandwich.
So there's 3 syllables. So was this a rhyming meter or a poetic meter created by Martian invaders who have 3 feet according to the War of the Worlds?
Yes, and as far as I know, a lot of pinball machines have told me that same thing. So yes, but so some examples are like how dear to my heart are the scenes of my childhood. You can see how it's got like a wave to it. So the thing about iambic, and this goes back to Amphibrock, but like the thing about iambic is it's just, I think it's basically, it's the one that Shakespeare used. So it's the one that everybody knows that term.
Yeah.
But there used to be a swath of different meters that people used. And this is one. So Eric referenced iambic on a text with me the other day. And I'm like, I'm trying to remember the name of any other thing that isn't iambic. I didn't look it up because I'm like, it's something brachial, baccalaureate or something. But that's so now you know that there are other metrical foots that you can use.
Metrical foots.
Yes.
I'm going to write that term down.
A metrical foot is
metrical.
But there's a bunch. There's iambic, pentamic.
Iambic pentameter.
Yeah, there's iambic. Fuck it. I can't remember. It's been too long since I studied this shit, and I never really cared about it in the first place.
It's funny, I don't have any like formal poetry training, and I have a very, very difficult time recognizing meter in poetry.
What's really helpful, and you're going to look like an idiot doing it, but tap a table. Mm-hmm. like learning a song. And so anytime you hear a stress thing and you start to understand it.
I mean, I do that. I actually kind of do that when I'm learning a song too.
Yeah. So when you get that kind of mechanical thing, that part of your mind kind of kicks on and you're like, oh, I get it. So, and I have one more word. For us to
one more shiny rock, you mean?
Yes. Oh, I've never said it out loud. So I'm going to go with decatet.
Spell it.
Decathect.
Wait. Deca.
Decathect.
E?
Thect.
T-H...
So Decathect.
Thect.
Yeah.
Decatect.
According to this, is Decathect.
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 Let's
No, I'm trying to
see.
figure out the meter there.
10...
Well, deca is iambic.
that's going to be 10 thects.
Oh yeah,
I don't know that I've ever had thects.
I don't. I mean, if you don't know this word, you're never gonna get it.
Okay.
Like I was completely unfamiliar. I just ran
What
into
is it?
So it's to withdraw one's feelings of attachment from, in parentheses, a person, idea, or object, as in anticipation of a future loss. Like you're afraid that your wife and you might be growing
So
distance,
you
and you're afraid of
decathect
divorce.
your wife?
So decathect is a verb. Is So it's the decathect. What's happening is
So it's basically like
it's like
the
pulling away.
man decathected his wife before she could divorce him.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we use that grammatically right, but that is.
You just told me it was a verb.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess that would be just decathected. Yeah. That's fine.
I was about to decathect
No. It's
myself
the
in this
ed
conversation.
ending threw me for a second. Of like,
Yeah, I mean it's a weird word.
yeah, that's it. Just it didn't sound. But
Oh,
yeah,
it's decathect. It's not decathect, right?
Yeah,
because
decathect.
it's to decathect yourself.
Yeah. I gotcha. Yeah. We
Yeah.
both did that weird. So
Yeah.
because I was looking at deca.
Yeah, me
and
too.
Yeah. So
So
decathect. Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, that's
Wait, if you cathect, look up cathect. Is cathect a shiny rock also?
Oh, I mean, I would love to know.
Is to cathect to
Cathect, transitive verb to invest with mental or emotional energy. So you're right, decathect.
He cathected himself using a Monster Energy drink.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of good word here. Oh wait, there's another good word here.
Yeah?
Cathexis
Cathexis.
is attachment and investment in a person or thing.
Whoa, okay.
So I guess that's just the noun of the verb.
Cathexis. I wonder if catheter is related to this. If they have etymological cousins.
I can't look that up quickly enough to
Okay.
have that. Yeah.
Well, that's something that
Audience
we can...
at home,
audience at home, here's your homework.
Yeah.
Do cathexis and catheter have common etymological origins?
Yeah, everybody write to Susie Dent. She'll know it off the top of her head.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay.
Yeah, if you find out, please tell Stephanie Quick.
Yes.
Please tell Steph.
Or I'm still checking our Twitter, WizBiz Podcast. I'm Alex Bolin on Twitter. I know it's X now, but I'm still checking. I just don't post there.
Yeah.
And Blue Sky Social, I'm Alex Bolin, and WizBiz Podcast.
Yeah.
Those are good ways to get in touch. Blue Sky Social,
and
by
tell
the way.
us about cathexis and catheter.
I have an invite if any lucky listener wants one of my invites. Eric's probably going to have one pretty soon too. So,
Oh yeah.
get in touch.
So those were some really good shiny rocks. Thank you.
And I thank you because that poetry one was pretty much your idea.
That is it's a great word, amphibrock.
Yeah.
But also,
I can't wait to forget it again.
Decathect led us into a whole family of shiny rocks, and I'm excited to see what comes of that. I have a cathexis to decathect.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget that one real quick.
I'm about to actually cathect myself with another beer.
Yeah, I remembered like that. We'll hit pause when I'm done with this thought. But I remember in college, I could rattle off a list of all the different like meters and feet and
Well, you probably had to. It was probably like part of your education.
Oh, you have a beer in here. Okay.
Yeah,
we'll do
yeah.
this
I
while
don't need
recording.
to.
Okay.
I don't need to decathect myself from the room.
Yeah.
In order to cathect myself with beer.
I was looking at a list of funny words the other day, and it's all words we knew. But the top one was defenestrate, which is like
I love and defenestrate. I mean, I do think that it would be a good shiny rock, and I would love to talk about the multiple defenestrations of Prague.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's too common a word.
No, it is. That's why
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it up. But I was just anytime I read it, I'm like that's just such a funny word. By the way, people at home, defenestrate literally means to be thrown out of a window.
Yeah.
Which is really, it's such a funny word.
It's a hilarious word, and it's great that there are like these. I think the defenestrations of Prague happened twice.
Yes.
In the 16th and 17th centuries, I believe, and it's just great that there are multiple historical things involving people being thrown out of windows in Prague that historically are referred to that way.
Yes, and they landed on a statue of a little boy peeing, and that is the story of Prague. See, two things I know about Prague, and I
Wow.
think there's
Prague
a golem
does
there.
not have a statue of a little boy peeing. That is Bruxelles.
No, I'm pretty sure Prague does too.
It's
Isn't that-
Brussels.
Wait, Prague
There is a golem, though. The golem of
boy
Prague.
peeing statue. I thought there was like a whole story. Prague, Czechia. No, that's not the one I was thinking of.
It's in Brussels. I've seen it. I've been there.
The little tiny one.
Yeah.
I thought that was the whole thing with like Prague, where like it was the thing of like. I thought that was during the defenestration of Prague. Like they made it that like the prince peed on the people that were attacking him, and they made a statue of him. He was like a little toddler.
I don't think that. No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a bunch of statues of little kids peeing, but like the story behind it is like the enemies were like lighting a bomb or whatever they had at the time, and they hid the 4-year-old prince, the most important person in the country, in a tree, and he peed on the fuse to save it.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this is 100% Prague, but there is a story somewhere in that area of the world.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love it. That's a great story.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's one of those bullshit stories that
All
you
right.
tell. Yeah.
Enough of this.
No.
I want to see some of that crazy whiz biz.
Yeah, I know. I was leading into it. That's what I was talking about,
Oh.
whizzing.
Okay. Oh, hey, there you
Yeah.
go.
I mean, obviously that wasn't true, but I mean, it's fun when that works out. Let's worry about one thing first, because I haven't said anything
Can we
uncomfortable in
worry
this
about
episode.
sanctifying PB's lips?
Yes. Okay. I'm glad you said something uncomfortable first, but I would like to go. Do you know what the highest order in the Ku Klux Klan is?
It's Grand Wizard,
Exactly. What's the name of the guy that runs this tournament?
Grand Master Wizard.
Yeah, that's too close.
Eh.
Let's walk that back a little bit. You don't have to use the word grand.
Well, except that a Grand Master is an actual title.
Yeah, I know, but let's. Yeah, I don't.
And
like
I
it.
know, I do agree. It's
I
a
don't like
little,
it.
it is a little too
Yeah.
close. But yeah, I mean, honestly, first I would like to just say the Ku Klux Klan is a reprehensible organization.
Yeah, no.
But-
facts. Yeah.
But a lot of the terminology that they use, and a lot of the terminology that they use for their ranks and titles and all that kind of stuff, is totally in line with how every fraternal order names things. Every
Yeah.
fraternal order has grand masters and grand blah blah blahs and venerable blah blah blahs and all these sorts of things. And the Ku Klux Klan became a fraternal order at the same time all those so many of the other fraternal orders did, and that's why they have those kinds of names.
Oh yeah, I know that, but like the I think the famous version of that, like most people have heard the term Grand Wizard because of racist shit.
I know,
Yeah.
and it's really too bad. It really, really is too
But
bad.
okay, so that was my only bad point. I want to
Okay.
say my favorite thing in this episode happens very early, where says this is for wizard stuff only, no weapons, no nothing. No science, wizard, and wizard spelled W-H-Y, because it's a science wizard. It is such a dad joke. I've never been happier.
I really, really thought that Science Wizard looked like Dr. Princess in disguise.
100%, I believe that is what is going on there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I wasn't crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're mutually exclusive, but I do believe that was Dr. Princess in disguise.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, Dr. Princess, especially after her first appearance and sort of digging into her story a little bit more, is kind of, I think, one of my favorite underrepresented characters in the show.
Yeah, she's great.
I love that she's like, oh, I'm not a doctor. Doctor's just my first name. And then, like, 6 seasons later, she's like, oh, I'm not a princess. Princess is just my last name.
Yeah, it's so stupid. So yeah, there is going to be a grand battle of wizards, and the grand prize
Is a
is
kiss
a kiss from PB
on the lips.
She's in a hot air balloon or a dirigible above the stadium,
Just
blowing
puckering her lips.
Okay,
Just
and then there's
and
a
pointing at her face.
there's
Like,
a giant fucking billboard above it, a moving billboard of her pointing at her. It is so stupid. It
it's
is
hilarious. And of course,
and then ragingly out of character.
oh yeah. But I mean, and of course, this is the sort of thing that just sets off both Ice King and Finn. So another great thing about this is another Ice King episode, and I love that we have 2 Ice King episodes right in a row. That's pretty fun.
Yes.
So of course, Ice King immediately was like, "Oh, I've got a surefire plan to do this. I'm just gonna cheat." He's talking to Finn and Jake in the stands because Ice King is convinced that Finn and Jake are his best friends. He can tell them anything. including that he's going to cheat his way through Wizard Battle.
Here's an interesting point. I think Finn and Jake are the Ice King's best friends.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean-
they don't like him, but that doesn't mean that, because
They
to
do.
him,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
they basically are his caretakers.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime he gets out of hand, they're the ones that are called in to take care of him. I do think that they're the Ice King's best friends.
Yeah, that's sad.
And it's really sad because they hate the Ice King.
yeah.
They grow to have sympathy for him. I don't.
Yeah, as it goes on. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it takes them learning more about his history and stuff.
And may I quote the Ice King when I say, "I can't wait to taste that sweet bubble gum." Fucking gross, dude.
Everybody says something gross about Princess Bubblegum this episode. And, like,
It's-
even when Finn drops his voice like 3 octaves, he's like, "I'd rather sanctify PB's lips." Like, it's just, you know he's thinking it all the time. He's a 14-year-old kid. He's horny for Princess Bubblegum.
which is why I don't think he's all that weird for saying that. Ice
Yeah.
King, that's super creepy. He's
Yeah.
like he's a love-struck little boy. Finn. And we meet one of my favorite wizards, Abracadaniel.
I love Abracadaniel
Who-
too. He is one of the most ineffectual characters in the show.
It's so great.
And such a feeble
So-
loser and so cool.
Abracadaniel feels like the wizard version of Finn being a fighter. Where like Finn's like he's like 11.
Well,
And, like,
Finn's
any-
successful though.
No, but only against like horrible monsters. Like Jake is successful. You know,
True, but Finn gets way better. Like
he does get better.
you
But that's
remember-
what I was thinking. Like Abracadaniel's on that level of just
Yeah.
because Abracadaniel did technically beat the Ice King in this episode.
He did.
Yeah. In the same way that Finn wins his fights by having Jake nearby.
yeah. Yeah.
But Abracadaniel, so what I like about him, and although he's not voiced by him, he's got that kind of emo Phillips voice, which will win me over any time. That just kind of like floaty, disattached kind of thing.
He shows up a good number of times. He must have like half a dozen appearances.
Yeah, he's a semi-recurring, I think.
Yeah. Which is great. He's fun. But also we see in the background, this is the first appearance of Huntress Wizard.
Oh, is that the first appearance? Yeah, I noticed there. There's also, I took a screenshot of the crowd.
Phil is there.
Okay, so there's Phil standing next to LSP, Starchy,
P-Butt.
Pepper Butler,
Pep-Butt.
some kind of
The lizard with the party hat.
lizard with a party
I love
hat.
the lizard with the party hat.
And then on the left, there's like I think some kind of green sentient ice cream.
yes.
That's the crowd, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is something else. Yeah.
It's such a pitiful crowd. Like, if there was a wizard battle, I would totally go to wizard battle. I would rather see. Okay, maybe this might not be true. I was about to say I'd rather see wizard battle than Marceline playing music, but I think I'd rather see Marceline playing music.
I'd rather see wizard battle. I mean, I haven't seen actual magic work in my life. Like I've worked magic, but I've never you never seen like a spell happen in front of you.
So
you know?
here's what I'd rather.
Or have
see.
you?
I am not at liberty to talk about all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you're at liberty to talk about it there, Eric Lefontaine Armancy.
I would much rather see Wizard Battle turned into a sort of thing where there's music going on during Wizard Battle.
That'd be great.
I want Marceline to be playing music while Wizard Battle is happening.
Oh, that would be absolutely terrific.
If Pendleton, if you're out there, please just at least make us a short.
By the way, at that gathering is at last night, there was a singing of "Daddy, Why Did You Take My Prize" by
Are you
someone
serious?
with a very nice singing voice.
And
Yeah.
did you tell someone about our podcast?
Yes, well, that's how it started. We were actually the last 2 times I've hung out with this person, I've turned somebody onto our podcast. But we were talking about Adventure Time, and they're like, "Oh, we should like do that song." And she sang "Daddy." I was like, "Oh, that's really nice. Your voice is very good."
Oh,
like,
man.
yeah, I'm
Did you
jealous.
cry a little bit?
Is crying the one where it gets all hard down there?
Gross.
Okay, I guess not. I know I didn't.
Oh, that's going to be an audiogram.
Yeah, whatever. As I said, it's funny. I was talking to somebody about this, and this is on brand because we're talking about podcasting, and that's what we're doing. Is someone was I like said something ridiculous, and they're like, "Oh, you ever?" We had this whole conversation about like saying ridiculous things and what you remember. Like, yeah, one of the good things about being a podcaster for as long as I have is I've said every dumb thing I possibly can say, and have mostly forgotten about them, and no one's punched me yet. So like I feel like everything is
You
good.
feel like you're
Yeah.
safe. You feel like you're safe. All right.
Abracadaniel gets struck down by a rock wizard that shoots down meteorites.
Oh yeah.
And
By
he-
the way,
Ooh,
Meteor Swarm is a D&D spell.
that
I
would make
believe it's a
sense.
9th level wizard spell. It's a very, very powerful wizard spell.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, giant
Yeah.
rocks are coming out of the sky. That's you're gonna be
And
hard,
they
yeah.
somehow made it through the shield.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay, yeah,
I
so
love his
Abracadaniel,
excuses.
he's
Yeah.
squishy.
My body is squishy. That's how I survived. It's
I don't
so
know
good.
if that ever comes up again. We're gonna have to pay attention to the next time Abracadaniel shows up. Okay.
I would doubt. Go for it. I would doubt that his squishiness comes back up, but I would like it.
Okay, I'm gonna cathect myself with beer.
Yes,
I don't know if I'm using that word right, but I'm pretending.
yeah, probably. Yeah. So Ice King's cheating is that he's got nunchucks, which is
Which is totally on brand because it wasn't that long ago that we saw that Ice King is totally into ninjas. and
However, in that episode, he makes ice nunchucks using his magic.
well, okay.
I know I'm trying to put logic onto an illogical creature, but I mean, this one is like, that wasn't that long ago. You have the power to make ice nunchucks.
And after he loses those nunchucks, he makes an ice sword and ice shield.
Yeah,
It's like
it's-
he doesn't have any problem with making
it's-
ice weapons. He
yeah.
never needs to cheat.
It's very fun.
basically.
Yeah.
But I just love that Abracadaniel turns the nunchucks into a butterfly. They fly over Ice King's head. He turns the back into nunchucks, and they fall at Ice King and knock him out.
It's so great. Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Abracadaniel gets all sorts of confidence, and when he
Mhm.
gets confident, he's like, "I'm so confident that I'm going to get a kiss from that princess."
And he deserves a kiss from the princess. He honestly should have gotten the kiss.
I don't like a princess. This feels like a bad prize.
Are you princess blocking Abracadaniel?
I think maybe...
She volunteered. She did it. It's
I
of her
guess
own
so.
free will. Like,
Yeah, no, you're right. I think it's I'm old, and maybe I'm shaming sex workers is my problem.
I mean,
and I apologize.
that's one
for
of the
that.
things
That's not
that
what I meant.
that's one of the things that sucks about this episode is like Finn doesn't need to save Princess Bubblegum from this. Like, if the Ice King had won, and he's like, "I'm going to collect my prize," and Princess Bubblegum's like, "I refuse to kiss Ice King." Like, that's totally within her rights.
Yeah,
And I'm sure there's probably some escape clause where
yeah.
they
I
could
also,
be like,
well,
"Okay,
I mean,
you get $50."
I
instead,
also
Ice
don't
King."
like that she's a strident. Sorry, I talked over you there. She's a strident science atheist type, and she volunteers herself to be the prize at a wizard convention.
Well, her whole magic doesn't exist thing hasn't come up yet. She hasn't started talking about that yet.
Oh,
I don't think she's said anything
Hmm.
that like that yet.
really?
Not yet. It does happen though. Like
No,
later
no,
on.
I
later
know
on
that's
when-
canonically happens all the time. I thought
I don't think that she's really made a huge point out of it yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with your memory over mine because mine is rapidly disintegrating.
I've been watching for it
Yeah.
in particular because I remember it turns into a really really big deal later on when they go to visit the wizard village or the wizard city.
Yeah,
And then also even later than that, when the Ice King's crown malfunctions.
yes,
Um,
yeah, you're right. It probably comes. Anyway, let's get back to this
yeah.
episode.
Okay.
Finn hears that Abracadaniel is going
Mm-hmm.
to kiss his lady fair, and shrieks so loudly.
It's the power shriek.
Yes,
It's the
and
most shameful of all magic. I can't believe that Finn would use a
the
power
most
shriek. It's
shameful
so,
of all magic. It's
so embarrassed for him.
It's very fun. And one of the best parts of this episode is Peppermint Butler sings a very off-key song about kissing
so
Princess
horrible.
Bubblegum. It is. I mean, it's.
Oh man,
it's
my
quite
first
bad.
beer was so much better than this one.
And then Princess Bubblegum comes down, and let's go out of order. She slaps him for cheating and kisses him for being sweet. She
It's so
is.
hot.
She's
like-
an adult. You can't kiss a child on the lips.
She
A few episodes ago, we have established that she is an adult. Do not kiss that man on the lips. That
she
boy on the
totally
lips.
kisses Finn on the lips and then slaps him. It's so hot. Like if
Ugh.
Princess
Ugh.
Bubblegum did that to me, I would develop.
You're a grown ass man.
I know, but I would totally develop a bubblegum fetish.
That's fine. No. As well, you should. What I'm saying is that her being officially over 18 years old, she should not be kissing on the lips at 13-year-old.
Okay, you're right.
I am right. This is disgusting.
So the good news is,
I'm going to cancel the show because of it.
the good news is, this is the last time that PB and Finn ever kiss. There are no more kisses between them.
Well, there's that one episode where they have like really, really rough sex. That was later seasons. I think he's above 18 at that point.
Canon.
Yeah, no, it's in Distant Lands. It's when he's bald and he's got the big beard. Yeah.
And he's like, we're just gonna lump a ton of bubblegum on you until you're 50.
Yeah, they both get drunk on Bahama Mamas or like other kind of like really sweet drinks, and they end up sleeping together. And it's really awkward. Yeah.
It sounds awkward.
Yeah. And I would just like to tell the audience that although I say horrible things, you should know there was at least 4 things I could have said there that I decided you don't need to hear that. I'll tell Eric after the show.
I don't think that's something that you should tell people.
No, I will. Those things you won't hear, but I just want you to know that I do have a filter. It's just my brain is broken. Eric,
yes.
Do you have anything else on this wizard business?
I do. I do have a little bit something else.
I would love to hear it.
The Grand Master Wizard is voiced by Maurice LaMarche.
Oh, that's from Futurama.
He played Calculon and a bunch of other characters in Futurama. He also played Brain in Pinky and the Brain, and he has voiced Yosemite Sam.
Oh, very cool.
He's got a bunch of cool
Maurice
voices.
LaMarche is he's one of the big names in voiceover.
Yeah, he's definitely a big name. It was kind of interesting. There weren't a whole lot of guest voices in these 2 episodes.
Yeah, I looked too. It was weird because there's so many but I think a lot of the background characters don't really talk. So
yeah. Ooh, should we vote for best background character? Because
we should.
Okay, are we gonna have some rules like no penguins, no wizards?
No penguins, no wizards with dialogue.
Oh God, that's so many wizards then. Okay, I'm gonna vote for the lizard with the pointy hat. In the audience.
Yeah. I'm gonna vote for the tiny cat that the Grand Master Wizard.
Oh
is playing
shit,
with.
that's a good one. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm changing my vote.
Okay.
Tiny cat.
Ha! I'm changing my vote to whatever you just said.
Damn it.
All right, so let's do one more segment.
Okay.
Eric, I think we're going to be very excited about this.
Okay,
And
what's
by
our
we, I mean
segment?
you.
What's our segment?
Our segment is, Eric, I want you to do a tarot reading for me
Oh,
using the totally unofficial Adventure Time tarot deck.
No way!
Which I finally got.
Oh my God.
I'm going to hand these to you because you are the more expert tarot reader between the two of us. Feel free to describe, explain, and throw some kind of reading out. It doesn't have to be for me, just for the audience, for something. Basically, just we're using this as an excuse for you to throw 3 cards down.
I'll start by saying they've
paper
got
stock, not good.
They've got a really light paper stock.
Yeah, it's like
it's a very light feeling.
tops. Yeah.
I turned it over. The Ace of Cups is one of my favorite characters, James Baxter.
Yes.
2 of Cups is Ancient Psychic Tandem War Elephant.
Indeed. Which I agree with. There's one that I hardly
the 3
disagree
cups
with.
are the 3 nymphs.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so there's a lot of. I just found Gunter.
Well, let's go to the major arcana because
Okay.
I don't think we want to spend 70 something 72.
Well, I mean, some of these are just super. Oh my
Well,
God.
no, but that's what I disagree with. So are you on 0?
Yeah, the Fool.
Disagree heartily.
You don't think it's the Fool? You
Because
don't think
Simon is a fool, but the fool in the fool's journey that's shown through the higher arcana.
It should be Finn.
Yeah, it should be Finn or Simon. Because it's somebody
Yeah.
at the start of a trip towards wisdom, or like
Then
kind
I'm
of
also going to
spiritual
disagree
evolution.
with the magician being Magic Man. I mean, he's literally a magician and possibly the most powerful magician, but he's also a bad guy.
I agree. I don't agree with that all that much. But the Ice King being the fool he's a fool, not the fool.
The Hierophant is a lemon grab.
Is it which one is Lemon Grab?
The Hierophant.
I'm kind of all right with that.
I
actually.
like that one a lot.
Yeah.
The Lovers is really clever too. It's got Apple. Fuck, I forgot her name.
Tree Trunks and Mr.
Pig and Junior.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Ice King as a baby, or the Lich as a baby, whatever that character's name is.
Here's one that is weird. The Chariot is Susan Strong, but the Strength card is Jake playing a violin. I would like the Strength card to be Susan Strong.
Yeah, I mean it's in her name.
The Hermit is LSP. That seems really
that
fitting.
works really well. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
You know, Pep Butt would be the magician, maybe.
Yeah. However, Peppermint
is the devil going to be Hudson Abadir?
Well, but Wheel of Fortune is Peppermint Butler.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, he's around like a wheel.
He is. Death is Death.
Not shocking.
The devil is not Hudson Abadir.
Oh yeah.
It's
It
a
should be.
devil. It's some sort of devil character. I don't know who that is. The tower it has the lich. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that works.
The star is Betty. That's good.
Okay, yeah, I'm all right with that. Yeah, that took me a second, but I'm all right with that.
The moon is Marceline.
Totally, yes.
The sun is Flame Princess. I mean, I kind of feel like she would be Queen of Wands. There's Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I knew there was a really funny one in there.
And then finally the world. Oh yeah.
What is the world?
It's that little lizard guy that was friends with. It's the original Gunter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do some shuffling.
Yeah, so
you
do a
okay
shuffling
with me shuffling this?
What? Oh no, go for it. Yeah.
Oh, I just found Hudson Abadir.
Oh, who
King
is
of
he?
Coins.
Coins, huh?
Yeah,
Swords would have been my guess.
mine too.
King of Coins, Hudson Abbott. Ooh,
I would have made the King of the King of Coins probably.
Yeah, 100%. That's a really good call.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So Eric, I want you to do a reading for something.
Do you want it to be about sanctifying PB's lips?
Sure.
What do you want?
I don't know. I hadn't really thought of it.
All right.
Let's do what would be a thing?
Where did you find this deck?
I found it on Etsy, and it was a whole ordeal because the first place I ordered from like never sent it to me, and I had to like get in touch with Etsy and start it. I left like a really shitty review, and it was a whole thing. So if you order this deck on Etsy, make sure to read the reviews first. There'll be one from me from the shitty guy that doesn't send them. I think we should do a reading about. Oh, this is so on brand, but let's do it. Whether or not we're going to like the new Adventure Time show.
The Fiona and Cake.
Fiona and Cake
Oh,
show
I'm
that's
excited
coming
about it, but
that seems like a nice light thing to do
All
cards
right,
with.
yeah, let's do 3 cards about the Fiona. 3 cards about the Fiona and Cake show. I know that you're not a Fiona and Cake fan. But...
I'm not, but however, my main problem with Fiona and Cake is that they weren't the lead characters in Adventure Time, and they were the lead characters on episodes of Adventure Time. That annoyed me.
That's a horrible reason to not like Fiona and Cake.
No, but the thing is, I don't like them. It's not like I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
It's that I like the show. Now, if there's an entire show, like I'll put it this way: if there's a Fiona and Cake show where one episode they go and Finn and Jake are the lead characters, I'm not going to like that either. That's I don't. It's
okay.
That's not the
Hold
story
on.
you're telling.
Hold on. Let's back up a second.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. There's an episode where BMO is the main character.
No, that's fine because that's part of these are invented characters for one episode. BMO is in the show.
All right, but
Like-
Fiona and Cake.
Like
have
I
2
also didn't
episodes.
like the episode where it was Farm Finn the whole episode.
You didn't like that one?
It's not that I didn't like it. It just that's not the show I'm here for. I mean, it's not as
What
bad
about
as...
Pillow World Finn?
No, that's great because it's Finn.
Okay. I really liked the farm.
No, the farm
Finn.
one's fine. It's nowhere near my dislike of the Fiona and Cake stuff because at least it's like sort of a Finn. Yeah. And the thing
Fiona's
with Fiona
a
and Cake is,
Finn?
but it shows up multiple times. I think is also my problem. You only get Farm World. You get one episode on it. But I'm allowed to have my opinions.
I'm shaking my head and laughing at Alex right now.
Yeah, he is, and I frankly don't. I don't agree with your shaking head. I think it's disgusting.
I am just a brand new tarot deck. You have to shuffle them a lot because there's 78 cards in here.
Yeah, I don't know if it works the same, but in poker, in the standard
It's
52
like
card
7
deck is 7.
times?
Yeah. I mean, there's arguments, but that seems to be the one that people quote the most. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Eric, the shuffling, I should tell you that there's a thing called Shriek 52, where every time you shuffle a deck of cards, it is in a unique order.
Yeah,
which is really
amazing.
interesting.
Yeah.
But because of the multiplication factor of every single time you shuffle it, it's really great. I mean, and here's the thing that interesting about that fact is that any given time you shuffle a deck of cards, there is a small amount of likelihood that it is the same as another time, and you'll just
never
had
know.
the longest shot that's ever happened in the history of the universe just showed up, and you'll never know. Yeah.
There's no way to know.
It's one of those things where your chances of winning the lottery are essentially 0, but someone's going to win the lottery. But this is like exponents upon exponents
It's
worse
so
than that.
yeah. Okay, I feel like there's a good chance that they're shuffled well enough.
Yeah, I think they're good.
Would you like to cut the deck?
No, I
Okay.
hate cutting decks. I feel like it's Fiona and Cake.
I'm gonna cut it for you. Oh, I just Fiona the deck. Okay. So
Caked it all up.
I caked it all up. All right, I'm just gonna draw 3 cards
Yeah,
right
draw
in a
3
row.
cards.
This is about how good is the Fiona and Cake show gonna be?
Yeah, why not? That seems like a
Okay.
thing to do on a show.
Card 1, the 6 of coins. Okay, this card is it's PB's little brother.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember his name.
Nelly?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a card that is kind of about love and childhood and kind of like material enjoyment. It does say to me that it's going to be an enjoyable show,
All
and
right.
that there will be people who really, really love it. This one in particular has, Nelly sort of like sucking on the roots of the candy kingdom and producing his juice, which sort of makes me feel like it's going to be something that's going to nurture the Adventure Time community.
All right.
Okay.
Agreed.
Next, the 7 of coins, which is Mr. Root Beer before he's dead. Oh, I just got the 6 of coins and the 7 of coins next to each other.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I mean, it's
No, but you shuffled sufficiently that I feel
I
like
know.
those moved out of next to each other and back into next to each
yeah,
other.
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It's just I just hate it when it's the first reading in a deck.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're like,
gotcha. Yeah, no,
damn
I
it, did I
understand,
not
yeah.
shuffle enough?
Yeah.
All
I had
right.
a first reading years ago. I forget the hell deck it was. It was when it was like one of the first decks I ever got that wasn't the Thoth, which is the one I read for most of my reading years. But the first, I mean, I shuffled the shit out of it. Like it was sufficiently shuffled. There's no way it wasn't, and it was all Higher Arcana 3 cards. It was like,
Oh wow.
oh man, that's fucking annoying because like it's anyway.
So the 7 of coins follows directly after the 6. The 7 of coins is kind of a weird decision-making card, but it's also kind of about like reaping what you sow. Or in the case of Adventure Time, I think it indicates that the real quality of the show, regardless of what the fandom thinks about it, the quality of the show is really gonna depend on the amount of work that actually went into building it. Root Beer Man is on here, and he's an interesting character because doesn't he die and come back to life?
He does.
Which is indicative of the show, right? Like this show has ended
That's a really good point.
several times and come back, and it's been different and excellent. Like Distant Lands is an amazing series of longer episodes that every single one of them has a melancholy feeling to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
they're beautiful and they're wonderful, but they're also about like the end of an era.
Yeah. No, it's
And-
post show. Yeah,
yeah,
melancholy.
and
longing
so
towards.
yeah, so I think that there might be something to that in this. He actually has a spade, like a gravedigger spade, here.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure how to interpret that, but I think there's a lot of symbolism there about the resurrection of Root Beer Man, the fact that he's got a gravedigger spade. But the 7 of coins is usually about sort of like reaping what you sow.
All right. So before you pull the last card,
Okay.
I haven't really played with this deck at all. I just kind of thumbed through a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know what's on it. I'm making a call. I've got a psychic vision.
Okay.
It's going to be the 4 of something.
Okay.
I think it might be swords.
Ooh. I was
That's my
just
call.
thinking,
I'm calling it.
when you said 4 of something, I immediately thought 4 of wands. But
Okay.
okay.
Wands. What could be wands?
Okay. Ready?
If this is a 4, I'm going to go nuts.
It's the 3 of cups.
Not even close. Yeah.
Not even close.
Wasn't even involved.
We were both wrong on both counts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the 3 of cups. This is a really, really good cap off to this reading, right? Like,
Who's on the 3 cups?
it's the 3 nymphs that live in the pond outside of.
Oh, the one that BMO hangs out with that time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. Yeah.
I guess they're Nereids, technically. So I like this card a lot. And here's why. Like the 6 of coins and the 7 of coins both prompted me to get all kind of like analytical and et cetera, especially the 7 of coins. But the 3 of cups is honestly like a card about like just letting your hair down and having fun and hanging out with your girlfriends and drinking some wine.
Fuck yeah.
And it's really just a reminder that like it honestly doesn't matter how good the Fiona and Cake show is. It's there for us to enjoy it, and we should love it because the people who make Adventure Time realize that there are a ton of us out here that still love Adventure Time, and they're doing this to make money off of us, but also so that we can have fun.
Fuck yeah. I love
So,
it.
That's it.
Audience at home, before we wrap up, I just want to tell you a couple of quick things. One, all that stuff we told you about following us on social media, do that. Tell your friends. spread the word because that's the only way shows grow, and we'd like the show to grow. But secondly, apropos of nothing, the Owl House is terrific, and y'all should watch it.
What's the Owl House?
It's a Disney Plus show. It's like a little girl gets sucked into another universe of like magic and intrigue or whatever, but she ends up living in the Owl House, which is like this weird owl lady, and she's like magical and really funny, and like this tiny adorable demon who thinks he's the king of hell, but he's like every time you look at him, he's like, "Oh, you little smoochy cakes."
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's really fun. It's just stupid and well written and like really wholesome and very much like it's a shit I wish I had when I was a kid, where it's like everybody being weird's fine. You're allowed to be that way. Being weird is just as okay as being normal.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, it's
okay. I'll check that out.
The Owl House is really, really fun. So I've been watching. That's like a very strong recommendation for me.
I have an animation related story. I'll keep it real short, but on my recent camping trip, like we sort of bookended it by staying at my parents' house. Or my parents' place out in Central Oregon, and I got the chance and took it to introduce my nibblings, who are 14 and 10 years old, to Akira.
Oh, really?
And
that's awesome.
And my brother Nick was like, "Oh, I don't know if Alex is old enough." And I was like, "Oh, well, you remember the first time you saw it? Like, I brought it back from Japan, and it was brand new, and you were like 11 years old." And he's like, "Okay, that's cool. Let's watch it." I mean, because that cartoon, it's gorgeous. It is.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it was pretty recently.
It was groundbreaking, right? Like it was a groundbreaking piece of animation, beautiful piece of animation, and it is ferociously disturbing and violent. There's
especially at the end with
and there's one like brief scene of sexual violence, and I warned the kids about it. I was like, there's a scene where there's a sexual assault on Kaori. Kaori gets her like shirt ripped off and then punched in the face. They don't actually
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
they don't.
Like
they
kind
don't
of early
ever,
in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no there's no actual. I mean, she's not like. She doesn't get raped, right? Like, there's definitely no time for that to happen, but it's definitely implied that they're going to.
Yeah.
And it's a super uncomfortable scene. But so I warned them about that. But yeah, I mean, that movie is just so violent.
It's super cool,
and so beautiful. Like it's just fun to watch. And then the ending is so confusing. And the kids loved it. They talked about it like nonstop.
Hell yeah.
So we only got to watch the first half of it the first night because everybody was tired and had to go to bed, and then we watched the second half the next night. They talked about watching it like at breakfast. They're like, "When can we watch the rest of Akira?"
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
They were so into it. My dad, on the other hand, like he watched the first half with us, and then he's like, "You guys just go watch that downstairs. I don't care about it." He didn't want to see it. But yeah, that was really fun because that's that movie was definitely one of the things that launched me into an adulthood full of cartoons, and so that was a really delightful thing to share with them.
That cartoon got me really into speed, like driving around on cool bikes. And, smoking cigarettes and being like a cool Japanese guy.
Yeah, I really, big. I always, and to this day, I still wear like a big red jacket with the pillow.
And then every now and again, I will scream to the sky, Kanada!
Tetsuo!
Yeah. Okay, let's be done with this episode. Thank you.
We are done. Thank you for listening.
Say goodbye to your dog.